Vegeta. Vegeta loves to remind everyone that he is the Prince of all Saiyans, and he says it with his chest every single time. He may stand only 5'5", but his power once exploded a scouter the moment he powered up, which shocked even his own partner. After Goku defeats him on Earth, Vegeta does not quit or cry. Instead, he trains day and night hoping to rise higher. Later, he fires a giant final flash at Perfect Cell just to prove that he should be the one to save the world. Even when the blast fails, Vegeta holds his chin high. His pride is a burning fire that never goes out, and it pushes him forward even when his body can barely move. Frieza. Frieza rules dozens of planets with one lazy flick of his tail and believes he is perfect because no one has ever beaten him, until Goku shows up. On planet Namek, Frieza blows up mountains for fun and laughs while doing it, thinking no one can touch him. When Goku fights back, Frieza slices the ground in rage and yells, "I am the greatest," even after he is cut in half by his own attack. His ego is bigger than the world he destroys. In the end, Frieza's pride blinds him to the huge spirit bomb forming right over his head, and that pride costs him everything. Dio. Dio is born poor, but on day one he decides the world belongs to him and no one else. When he turns into a vampire, his pride grows fangs just like he does. He freezes time, throws knives, and even drops a huge road roller on Jotaro, laughing the whole time because he thinks he cannot lose. When Jotaro finally wins, Dio looks more surprised than hurt. He cannot believe the universe broke its own rule and let him lose. He may lose his body in pieces, but Dio never lets go of his giant ego for even a second. Aizen. Aizen looks like the nicest teacher in town, but behind his calm smile, he tricks the Soul Society for 100 long years. His sword makes illusions so perfect that his enemies do not trust their own eyes or ears, and that makes him feel like a god who walks among fools. After Ichigo lands a huge strike, Aizen does not panic. He scolds the magical Hogyoku cube for daring to protect him without permission. Even tied to an unbreakable chair in the deepest prison, Aizen wears a relaxed grin, as if the room belongs to him and the guards are only guests. Madara. Madara is so proud that even death cannot slow him down. Long after he dies in the First Great War, he returns during the Fourth Shinobi War to prove that true power still has his name on it. He thanks Kabuto for bringing him back because it gives him a bigger stage to show off. Then he fights entire armies alone, using meteors and giant Susanoo warriors like toys. In the end, it is his own pride that drags him back to life, and also drags him down when he tries to control forces even he cannot handle. Boros. Boros is a space pirate who crushes planets just to keep from getting bored. A prophecy says a worthy foe waits on Earth, so Boros flies across the galaxy wearing a smile as bright as a star. When he meets Saitama, he unleashes all his power, glowing like a small sun. Saitama ends the fight with one normal punch, and Boros crashes in defeat. Yet Boros is happy in his final moments because, at last, his pride met a wall. He finally proved his own limit, and that was the test he searched for all along. Meruem. Meruem is born from a giant egg already stronger than anyone alive, and he believes humans are nothing but snacks. Then he meets Komugi, a quiet girl who beats him again and again at the board game Gungi. Each loss shocks him, yet he feels a new respect growing inside. Even after a hidden bomb poisons him, Meruem spends his last minutes calmly sitting with Komugi, talking like an old friend. He realizes that losing fairly with honor feels better than ruling an empty world. His pride changes shape but never dies. Kaido. Kaido is called the world's strongest creature, and he loves that title so much he tests it every chance he gets. He jumps from Sky Islands thousands of feet high, hoping something can finally end him, but nothing does. When Luffy challenges him, Kaido pounds the young pirate, yet Luffy's Gear 5 form rises, and Kaido's eyes widen. Even as he falls, Kaido grins because a worthy Joy Boy has finally appeared, giving his proud heart the battle it always wanted. Griffith. Griffith starts life as a poor boy, but climbs up by charm, skill, and endless vision. He leads the Band of the Hawk to victory after victory, thinking his dream is worth any risk. When torture breaks his body, Griffith chooses a dark ritual called the Eclipse, trading all his friends for a new form called Femto. He does it so his pride, his grand dream of a kingdom, will never kneel. For Griffith, pride is a shining sword sharp enough to cut through love, loyalty, and even humanity. Light. Light Yagami is the top student in Japan, but he still feels bored until he finds the Death Note. With every name he writes, he feels more certain only he can fix the world. He studies by day, plays tennis to stay perfect, and writes names at night. When Nier corners him, Light screams while bleeding on a cold floor. Even when his secret is out, he refuses to admit he was wrong. Pride turns a bored teenager into the most wanted criminal on Earth. Sukuna. Sukuna lives inside Yuji's body like a boss in a rented house, always ready to take the steering wheel. He has 4 arms, 4 eyes, and 0 mercy for anyone who dares speak against him. He carves his own cursed domain out of thin air, showing the world that rules are just suggestions. To him, people are decorations for his throne room. Every wicked grin he shows is proof that his pride is as tall as a mountain and twice as hard to move. All for One. All for One has stolen quirks for more than 100 years and tells everyone else how small they are. He even trains Shigaraki to be his spare body, planning to live forever through another man. Half his face is gone from an older fight, yet he still calls the heroes naive children and laughs. His pride is a castle with walls so thick that logic cannot climb over. He is sure he will rule tomorrow, next year, and a century after that. Cell. Cell mixes DNA from Saiyans, Namekians, and even Frieza, so he names himself Perfect before anyone else can. He builds the Cell games, invites the world's best fighters, and sets up cameras so everyone must watch him prove his greatness. When young Gohan powers up and blasts him to pieces, Cell's last word is magnificent. He cannot help praising the fight even as he loses. Pride built Cell from the first Cell, and that same pride leads him to a grand but final show. King Bradley. King Bradley rules a nation, but also fights on the front line at age 60 because he believes a king must lead. He slices tanks, dodges bullets, and even charges a fortress alone, smiling like it is a morning jog. When he lies dying on a bridge, he calmly calls the humans around him interesting because their stubborn pride reminds him of himself. He respects only people who stand straight even when they lose. Esdi. Esdeath can freeze an entire river solid in one breath and carves her name into the ice like a giant signature. She believes the strong should rule and the weak should simply accept their fate. She falls in love with Tatsumi only because breaking the unbreakable sounds like fun to her. Her pride is colder than her ice, yet it burns bright, pushing her to make every battle a beautiful work of frozen art. Makishima. Makishima reads classic books, quotes poetry, and murders without raising his stress level, all to prove the Sibyl system cannot judge him. He believes true freedom means never letting a machine decide right or wrong. When Kogami tracks him down and shoots him on a quiet pier, Makishima smiles softly. Dying on his own terms is better than living as a number in someone else's hard drive. Pride to him is freedom no one can measure. Char. Char shoots down 5 mobile suits in 3 minutes at the Battle of Loom, and the universe names him the Red Comet. Under his bright red helmet, he hides a deep grudge against the Zabi family. His pride grows into a wish to drop a giant asteroid Axis on Earth just to show he is right and they are wrong. Every time his red suit flashes across the screen, pride rides with him like a blazing tail. Orochimaru. Orochimaru studies every forbidden jutsu because he hates the idea of limits, including death itself. He sheds his body like a snake sheds skin so he can live forever, hopping into new hosts. Even when Itachi seals him, Orochimaru slithers back through a tiny cursed mark on Sasuke's neck. He hisses that curiosity makes him divine. No matter how many times he is cut down, his pride wiggles back into the world. Yuppie. Yuppie starts as a giant soldier ant who thinks power is endless. He grows wings in one burst and laughs, saying limits are fake news. Then Morel traps him inside deep smoke, and his cool breaks apart. His pride shifts into wild anger, and he explodes in rage. Only after the battle does he learn that pride without control burns faster than any flame. Overhaul. Overhaul wears a beaked mask and calls everything dirty. He wants to erase quirks forever, so the world must buy his cure and kneel. When Deku at 100% smashes through his fusion form, Overhaul's arms break and his plan crumbles. He stares in empty shock, unable to grasp that unclean heroes have ruined his perfect design. Pride cracks like thin glass in a storm. Muzan. Muzan leads 12 powerful demons and calls humans livestock, forcing them to feed his endless hunger. One demon stammers in fear, and Muzan explodes him on the spot for daring to be weak. Inside the endless infinity castle, his greatest fear is looking fragile even for a second. Pride is Muzan's iron mask, but cracks begin to show when Tanjiro and the Slayers corner him in his own dark palace. Father. Father starts as a talking shadow in a glass jar, but tricks a whole nation into human sacrifice so he can gain a perfect body. On the promised day, when his philosopher's stone begins to crumble, he still yells, "I will not be denied," while reaching for the sky. Pride lifts him high into false godhood, yet the same pride drags him down when the truth he tried to dodge finally catches up. Doflamingo. Doflamingo is born a high-rank celestial dragon, loses his title, and decides the whole world should pay for it. He rules Dressrosa by turning people into living puppets, forcing even a king to kill his own people. When Luffy smashes his sunglasses with Gear 4, Doffy's grin never leaves his face. His bright pink coat flaps in the wind like a banner that reads, "My pride will not fade," even as he tumbles to defeat.